Welcome to Seabus Super Stadium for the opening clash in this round 5 match. Following Labor Day weekend, we're back on top of things. Gold Coast hosting Penrith. Lucas said, Lachlan Martin with you. Lockie will be on standby in case the power is out, because we had that last time I was in the booth, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Lockie, we've got a very exciting clash after a week away. What are you looking forward to in this one?
Yeah, g'day, Ollie. I am looking forward to a lot in this game. Obviously, Panthers, 2 wins, 2 losses to start the year. Sitting around that finals position, they really want to win to cement themselves in that top 8 come season end. Would be a nice place to put themselves. But they're coming up against a formidable foe. The top Gold Coast Titans have had a very strong start to the year. 3 wins and just a single loss. A win here could see them potentially top the table after 5 rounds. That is something that they would really like to happen, and as they're about to kick off here.
Yep, Mark Lee here to get us underway. Let's get back to work after Labor Day weekend. Marcus Lee kicks us off, and it is Will Kay to field it, and he immediately takes a 1-up run before he's quickly brought to ground. Riley Murray there interacting half, replacing the 9. You may notice the jersey numbers won't be the same as you'd expect. Don't worry, we do have that under control. It's just Rugby League 26 being Rugby League 26 again. There's a play from Phoenix Murphy out to Wakabayashi.
Oh, what hit.
Valentine to the step. Yeah, he gets clobbered by one of the Titans players coming out of defense. Wakabayashi decides, all right, let's try and get the momentum back to us. Let's get a kick away. Look for that 40-20. It only gets about 15 out from the sideline before Dom Young's able to corral it. Doesn't get very much out of the kick chase, though, as they come down our way. Hodgie, quick ball out for Eric Irvine as he looks to take a run before he's eventually brought to ground. 35 out from his own line here on the second. McLucky, quick outside ball there for Taupoke. It was a very quick one. It almost looked like he was trying to hospital pass him, but ended up getting it through. There's Brody James in the center of the park, looking to try and muscle his way past Will Kay, eventually brought to ground inside Panthers territory. Taupoke, quick offload there for Hodgie. I think everyone out quicker when he went up to the line, but a quick one on the last. But then it's 6 again. Oh, it was going to be last, but there's a coach killing 6 more tackles on the ruck infringement for being too slow. They go out to Young inside the 40 of the Panthers, but not much there on that occasion. Weston quickly out to James. Brody James just trying to power his way forward, but a 2-man tackle is a strong one. Eric Irvine 1-up again. Not much shape being shown here by the Titans early, but there's a little dummy half scoot from Lee. Quick ball out for Weston inside for Young. We finally enter the red zone after 9 tackles, so Panthers defense has been stout for them not having to go through back-to-back sets. Here they go on the last. Played right on the 10. Panthers way to the line. Taupoke up to the line. Comes off a man and pressed the beats. Took a hit and was staggered. Looked like he got winded there from that challenge, and eventually the Panthers hold firm.
Yeah, a good set there from, obviously, the Titans. The Panthers giving away a poor set restart, but defending well. The kick, it just wasn't the option. There were feet everywhere. Was never going to get through the line, and luckily for the Panthers, they cleaned it up there with no real threat in the end as they make the outfield. 4th tackle, already over to 30. I found it funny earlier. We used to say Rugby League Live 4 being Rugby League 4. Now it's just Rugby League 26 being Rugby League 26. I guess some things never change.
Yep, there's Nepo goat there. The evolution Nepo baby up past the 40. Opens up a 40-20 option here for Kane Nilsson. He'll look to the right side again, but Rain O'Driscoll there has plenty of time to field it. Puts on the spin move, puts on a fend, and it's until he's getting his 3rd defender that eventually brought to ground. There's no fallback in place of a moment there. Riley Murray will be forced to retreat. Oh, nearly ended up. Oh, it did end up off hands there. It looks like Taupoke is going to just march his way through. It ended up back in his hands, and now 0 tackle for them. Irvine forced back there by a couple of Panthers defenders. Of course, with no jersey numbers being accurate, I may have a bit of a difficult time calling out who's who. Young skirting with the sideline there as he breaks through tacklers. Murray called into action again. He tackles him at 3/4 of the way up the park. Here's Luciano quickly out for Irvine, and Irvine is forced back of a tackle there by Murphy. Quickly looks to feed it out there for McLucky. Inside ball, Taupoke. He looks to try and barge his way forward. Eventually gets past the 20 before he's brought to ground. Marcus Lee scoots out against the not square markers. Nothing much they can do there. Eventually brought down on the last. Inside the 10. McLucky outside ball for Luciano. Puts in the kick. It comes to McKinnon. It's off his heels. Eventually he scoops it up, but it's quickly forced back. And the Panthers once more going to be pinned inside their 10 to start their own set.
Yeah, discipline is just costing Penrith at the moment. They just, keep putting good kicks in, and then they just let all pressure on with a silly error, silly penalty, silly 6 game, whatever it's been. And the Titans just making massive meters here. They're under a bit of pressure early with Penrith. They've got to find something to get upfield, because so far, I think all the balls have been played in Panthers' half.
Pretty much. The only thing that has been able to penetrate into Titans territory has been the kicking game, and they haven't really got much of that either. As Ponkston forced back inside the 30. They might look for 20-40 here at this point. Epigoat is too far inside for that, though, but his ball ricochets off of his own man. I think that was off of Kay, and then Shackleton is just forced to clean it up, but great field position here for the Titans now.
Yeah, the Titans, they just keep getting positions down, and they've got to make the Panthers pay, but they can't just keep having this ball and doing nothing with it.
Yep, McLucky now over to Luciano. He's going to be forced back there again, that time by Ponkston. Ponkston and Murphy, the two in the blue hair, looking to try and contain that left edge. Here goes Irvine. Irvine now about 5 out. Markers weren't square. Lee decides to send it away for Jackson Grant, but Grant rushes the pass, trying to get Dom Young spraying through. It ends up resulting in a scrum here for Penrith.
It was a really weird play by the Titans. I mean, it was always going to be forward pass there. He was standing in front of him when he threw the pass there, Dom Young, I think it was, and yeah, the ball was never going to be back. It was like, yeah, it was a bit of an odd play there by the Titans. They really needed to find some space on the edge. Instead, they just couldn't really find it. And Panthers, they've been defending well so far, to their credit, but they just need to get upfield now. And that's a good run there by Bronzicaro, and the pass!
Yep, got it away there for Moses Valentine, and Valentine tries to put it a dash.
He's still going!
One tackling Parker through a second. Nearly getting through, but he is in fact into Panthers, or outside of Panthers territory rather. Finally, Penrith getting to handle the ball in Gold Coast zone. Onsakahu again for play the ball. Out for Wakabayashi and Murray. He'll center it up here to give them options on where they want to go, as they're right outside usual attacking kick territory. I'll flick it out there for Nelson. Nelson will just like to put a wobbler there, try and make O'Driscoll's life difficult. Can't make him drop that ball in the air though, and it ends up being a quick run back from O'Driscoll and tackled about 23 out from his own line. There's Dom Young, a spin move. He's run into another Panthers defender though, but does get a good 13 meters or so. Lucky will just look to get the wide ball working again. O'Driscoll steps past Ponkston. Murray just able to meet shoulder to shoulder there with O'Driscoll. Barely able to get through there though, and Gold Coast are putting the pressure on again. Here goes Hodgie. Hodgie getting lots of post-contact meters there until Murphy finally sweeps the legs. McLucky now fires it out for Brody James, and again they center it up here. Now they have the opportunity for the bomb, or maybe a long grabber kick. What does Weston elect for? He goes high. Who's underneath it? Lucky Tua is. He's going to be forced right back and nearly into his own in goal. And immediately they're going to try and dial up the pressure here. EBK's just going to be able to get them out of here, Lachlan.
Yeah, good set once again there by the Titans. The Panthers, they definitely seem to be doing a lot of second phase play at the moment, a lot of offloads. But they just need to make more meters. The Titans are just winning all the field position battle. They've got to win some territory back here, Penrith. Otherwise, it feels like inevitable before the Titans are going to eventually score a try.
Yep. And so far, through his first 15 minutes, they have held the men, but nothing really being shown so far. Here goes Nepo Go. Little inside ball here for Riley Murray. That's what they needed to get here. Just a little bit more breathing space. And it's pulled the fullback into action as well. This is going to make the wingers work hard here. What are O'Driscoll and Demander going to be able to do to cover the Wakabayashi kick? They're a little bit offset. Armando does end up corralling it though. He gets a nice step going and eventually going to be brought to ground by the backup line of kick chasers, essentially just there to make sure that nothing broke away. It happens so often in the SRL, especially 1.0. That time, though, Xavier Demando were held in containment. Young on the second, very slow play the ball. Looks like they didn't quite get their play working that time. There goes Jackson Grant, trying to get upfield, tackled right on halfway. Jackson Grant, I believe, will be replaced by Ben Fanua Blake as soon as next week. Grant, being recently placed on the inactive list. You'll play his last game here in a Gold Coast uniform. We'll see if he makes his return later on in the season or not. Dom Young there. They're not going to get much going this time on their attacking set for Gold Coast. Chris Weston will kick this one away and will easily fielded by Lucky Tour inside the 10. He puts on a step. He ends up running right into the winger, though. And is going to be tackled about 27 out from the line and earns himself a holding down penalty.
Yeah, that's just changed the momentum right there for the Panthers. They put in a better defensive set, probably the best one of the game. And they put in a Gold Coast, forced to kick it from further back. Lucky Tour puts on a good kick return. And then he earns himself a penalty. The Panthers, they haven't had much field position over the Gold Coast half. Let's see if they can make it pay. Because honestly, the Titans, they just haven't done anything with it yet. Now it's the Panthers' turn to bat.
Yep, Wakabayashi then nearly threw it away though as he quickly went, and Willie K tried to look for a scoop there, but he wasn't really able to get around his own man. As a result, some of the Gold Coast players come up from the line and just lay the shot on him. EBK again, they seem to be the primary target of their attack alongside Murray. And now out for Wakabayashi. Flicks one out here for Shackelford. They're not looking like they're going to be able to attack even with that penalty. Probably helped that it was only on tackle 1. They will fire one out. It's a slow pass to Wakabayashi. He puts a spiraler towards the corner. Well fielded there by O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll puts on a step. Nearly gets by Murray, but he's just able to wrap the arm around him to bring him down. He will fire out the Hodgie. Ooh, Luciano nearly spilled it. Looked like it was just trying to caress it and then eventually got it. Lee now quickly out. Runs right into Pongston, setting himself up there in the half. They put themselves right near the benches here, so Gold Coast will get a quick interchange going as well. Dom Young forced back there, though, by Murphy. Let's see if they involve the forwards here on now with Vakateni and Bruce Buckley. It's over for McLucky. McLucky now for Weston. Weston probably not the option they wanted to try and run it on the last there, but not very fresh legs on now, and Penrith do not. Alpoke will look for the kick. He'll probably just get it to about the 10, which is where Tua is waiting.
Oh, good tackle.
But it will be met and tackled right over 20. Strong kick chase defense there from the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that's better from the Titans. Defense down there. Obviously, last time they kicked it down, they made an absolute meal of it. That time they tackle him, good field position, and now they're looking for better, but that's a good run there, and an offload, in fact.
Yep, Kay finds Valentine again. He's been a good offload recipient thus far, but the offload perhaps inadvisable. We've lost a couple of meters off of that as a result. Titans well positioned forward. Penrith have also been able to make their interchanges. It's Harrison Coward and Robin Morrison on for Beats and Shackelford. All that ball goes spilling away, and Murray ends up fielding it. Has to call Dom Young up. Dom Young with a very strong tackle, but again, the fullback from the last. Amanda and O'Driscoll in retreat here to stop the kick. Wakabayashi, I think that was from outside 40, so they're free to let this one go. But it does force Amanda well back. He's not stepped over the line this time around. And he ends up being brought down just inside the 20. Out for Basman now. Basman with the step. He's finally get himself involved. Moving across there from the center.
Yeah, the play's got to be getting tired out there. It's been 24 minutes and there's been limited breaks, limited water break. Obviously still 0-0. I expect the game to open up very soon on a Monday evening. Players got to be getting tired too because they've been playing non-stop so far.
Yep, Weston's going to try and open the game up here with a 40-20 attempt.
That's
Murray
awesome.
doesn't look like if ever there for it. It's right near the sideline. Murray's ended up booting it, and it's gone over instead.
Riley, just pick up the ball, brother. It was there for you, and he just kicked it over the sideline. I'm not even sure what that was.
I mean, my only explanation for that is phantom pressure. Because I think Murray's only looking at a ball and he feels the presence of Tua behind him and just thinking to himself, oh, God, I just got to knock this one over. But it ends up being O'Driscoll. That goes over. Penrith caught napping and Gold Coast finally open up.
Yeah, they've defended well on their line for the most part, but that just was poor. Riley Murray, he's had probably 20-second period to forget. He's kicked the ball over the sideline, but he's missed a simple tackle on Rain Driscoll that led to the Titans opening the scoring. I said the game was going to open up soon. I wasn't expecting to be the next couple plays, but hey, it's happened, and the Titans take an early lead here in Sydney against the Penrith Panthers.
We are in finale. This is fun, actually. Not for this with the training. My apologies for my errant intro. I will be summarily punished after this match. Don't worry. But it has been, yeah. It's not a great sequence there as well. I think that's got to be a lack of communication between those Panthers backline, because I didn't feel like Tua, Pongson and Murray have really been up to scratch here in terms of what they want to do together.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, like, particularly Riley, it's just... they just needed someone to pick up the ball, but they just sort of both looked at it, and then he kicked it over the sideline, and, I mean... at the very least, just jump on the ball. If you're going to get taken over the sideline, jump on the ball. But now we have an error. That's a massive shot there, and the Panthers looking to strike straight back.
Yeah, I'm not sure who exactly put the shot on, but Xavier Demendo got broken in half. And Wakabayashi picks up the spoils. 7 tackles for the Penrith and only 22 meters to gain. It's Nilsson here. We finally get to see a real goal line stand here for the Gold Coast. Can they bring back momentum here? They'll look to set it up here with Nepo. Goad goes right on through. What a burst of speed from the Goad. He gets in, and that might just be a huge equalizer for the Panthers.
Oh, it's huge, Ollie. I mean, the Titans have an all this ball. This is really the first opportunity the Panthers have had inside their 20, and just a short ball there. He ran straight through. I'm not sure what Mark Lee was doing there. He should have just put contact on him, but he just let him sort of go straight through, and he dives over, puts the ball down as quick as he got through the gap, and all of a sudden the Panthers strike straight back, and it's going to be 6-all in a moment.
Yeah, looking back at that play, it looked like they were kind of in two minds between whether they wanted to go after Goad, whether they wanted to go after Robert Robertson, and they decided to essentially just commit towards the outside man, but instead they just run it off the inside shoulder and goes over, no problem.
Yeah, it was a great run there from Nepo Goad. Obviously, usually ball playing middle there. He's kind of running the line of like a second row there, sort of just running that sort of short ball there, just charging straight through. And once he got through, I mean, he's a powerful player. There was no stopping him.
Yep, I mean, former Mines MVP, and obviously much more of an equal playing field to some of the veterans here in 2.0, and putting that to good use. Here's Murray there, met hard in a tackle there by Lee. That one, we could feel up in our commentary booth. Flicked out there for TBK again. That seems to be the move they've been going with. Murray and TBK, they're the ones making the impact for runs right now. Here's Harrison Coward, looking to try and push his way through, but a pair of Titans defenders aren't going to let him get past much more than a 30. K again, it's an awkward scoot. He wants to try and go a bit more often, but he just hasn't looked like wanting to attack so far. We'll go out to Nilsson. Nilsson, a bit of a wobbler, going right down the center of the park here to get their kick chasers engaged and put a shot on Dom Young as a result. 29 minutes gone here, only 6 apiece. Momentum largely been with the Titans so far as Penrith looks to sort out their defensive line. Mark Lee with a scoop, but great works remaining square there by Penrith. They're not going to get much out of that as a result. Luciano into acting half.
Oh, no.
Out for Weston, and he loses it.
That's huge.
Right to TBK. Another big intercept there. Wasn't considered an error that occasion, though, so only tackle 1. It goes Mobiston now. He looks for an option. Irvine there getting involved in the tackle and shift himself in a second marker. Okay, moving out to Nilsson and then Murphy. Murphy not getting a lot pre-contact, but good post-contact drive. Will push the Titans into the red zone. And yes, gets the ruck infringement as well. Holding down far too long there. Only we got to see the penalty for it before, but this time there's 6 again. Ongston going to be held down here, about 12 out from the line. Going to flick it out wide here for Nilsson. Now for Mobiston. Mobiston going to try and charge his way through, but is tackled about 7 shy.
Oh!
Stand here again, and there goes McKinnon! The step, the try, and a huge momentum shift. Penrith now have the lead.
Yeah, Penrith, they get this opportunity and they know when they're inside the 20 they can strike. The Titans had all this momentum, but a simple error there. Obviously TBK putting on the pressure, catching the ball down the other field. I seen him going over a set restart and a great short ball once again, this time by Lachlan McKinnon. He crashes over, and the Panthers have had absolutely no momentum this entire game, but all of a sudden, they've hit the leader and are about to make it a 6-point margin with just 8 minutes still to break.
Yeah, they might be playing at what is essentially a neutral ground here, but they are the designated home team, and it's not too far to travel. Well, that kick traveled too far to the right, and Murray does not convert, makes that one 10 points to 6.
Yeah, something I've been noticing in this game is it seems like the Hookers are just trying to get a little bit too involved. You've seen a couple of maybe not poor, but just sort of non-effective scoots from both Kay and Mark Lee. recently, and I feel like they sort of just need to just get the ball out in the players of the hand. They look much better when they get into their halves on the front foot, and I feel like if the team that sort of works it out quicker, whichever hooker it is going to go a long way to win this game, because, I mean, both of them have just had scoots that have not really done a whole lot for what they need to do.
Have to agree with that one, and we'll see whether Cable's looking for that scoot. He put a little outside step, but then decides to just work it in the field here again with TBK on the second tackle. Seems like that's been the play all the time from Penrith. And again, it's Murray. And that time their lead, not allowing him to escape into the back line. Send it out here for Nepo Goat. Second phase play here a little bit with Mobberston as he gets some good hard contact fighting. Still going to be tackled right over 30. K there. The markers were both square, and again, he just looks at an ineffective scoot. Eventually gets the ball away for Coward, but look at how alert the Titans were to that. They got nowhere out of that. And pretty much it's a minus 5 meter offload. And I have to look way deep there for where Wakabayashi is positioned. Eventually gets that kick away, and O'Driscoll will be able to get past the 40 on his kick without being touched. Usually we get to see that if they make a coast-to-coast trick return, but that time just some strong defense there from Gold Coast.
Yeah, the Titans, they're defending well all game. Panthers aren't able to make much beaters. If the Titans cut out their errors, they should be winning by about 10 or 20 this game, but the Panthers are just staying in it. And the Titans haven't been lethal enough when they've been presented opportunities. So I think they need to try for half time just to raise their spirits a bit, the Titans.
Yep. They might look for one as well if they can get past the 30 here, give themselves an attacking opportunity with a strong Michael McLucky run. But a slow play the ball there does not help. Taupoke looking to try and fight his way forward. He's about 23 out from the line before he's eventually brought to ground, and it's a slow get up. The referee wanted to let it go that time. Short ball here, McLucky. McLucky puts up the ball on the inside of his boot.
Oh.
Up there is Dom Young, but well defended there. That's Murphy involved, and make sure that they don't get much out of that one.
Yeah, the Panthers, they just sort of let, obviously Dom Young just take the catch there. They didn't really look interested in really making a contest of it. They just let him catch it, got players around the ball, and in the end, I mean, the Titans, they didn't really do much with it once again, and the Titans, their attack just has looked kind of just dead today. Hasn't really looked like they're really doing much. Very uncreative and a little bit disappointing, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is just get into the red zone, because that's where they've been able to create those opportunities. That time they were just a little bit outside, but if they can get that little bit of innovation to get themselves into set attack, might be able to spring the lead back towards them, as Panthers able to just push it in Gold Coast territory here on the last. Wakabayashi, a high ball. Going back just about a few out from the line. It's Amando. He feels it though, and he's going to be driven back there after about a 12-meter gain and a long hold there as well. Both of them looking perhaps to just get to half-time with not a lot left here in this first half. Jackson Grant pushes forward. Just past the 20. Buckley will give it off to Vakatani because he decides he wants to end his spell, and they get Preston Beats back on, hopefully. As well as Brody James. Weston now. Long ball out McLucky. Just got it away for Luciano. Luciano met just up the legs there. Strong tackle. Make sure he doesn't escape. Now McLucky the kick. It's right out into space here. Murray has to run over to try and field this one. He will pick it up this time around. A bit of a concern for that last time we saw that, and it resulted in what was essentially a 40-20 and the Titans' only points. But that time he keeps them out. Nepo Goat here on what should be the last set of the game here. I'll get their last changes set up. Perhaps just get one last little bit of a run here from either Beats or Shackelford. TBK there tackled. 20 seconds left. And a slow play the ball there means they probably aren't going to see too much. Murphy, as time ticks down, it looks like we'll be heading to halftime with Penrith up 10 points to 6 as Moses Valentine will finish things out for us as we head to the break. And welcome back to this second half of action between Penrith and the Gold Coast here at Combank Stadium, not Seabus Super Stadium. Lucas said, Lachlan Martin with you. Lockie, it's been a low-scoring half of football compared to what we've usually seen here in Rugby League, SRL 2.0. And what do you think these messages will be sent to these teams after that halftime break?
Yeah, well, look, firstly, starting with the Panthers, I think they'd be starting to factor in front at the moment. I mean, it felt like all the territory was spent just inside the their half. They're defending a lot of the game, but then any opportunity they've gotten for forced errors or whatever it is that they pay, Well, they're also having given away a penalty and completing 40 from 14. The only error I can even remember was when, obviously, Riley kicked it over the sideline, which led to the Titans' first try. So I think overall they'll be happy. Meanwhile, the Titans, on the other hand, as they make a great break here, in fact...
And here goes Irvine. Irvine nearly through. We'll have to let you finish your thought. They're just inside the red zone. Murray nearly got caught for holding down. Might have been a professional foul to a more stringent referee, but on that occasion, Brody James there forcing his way forward. Eventually going to be tackled right over 10. Lee will send it out here for Weston. Weston flicks it out here for McLucky. They're going to run it here with Young. Young just barely gets the kick away. No, we'll knock on, and they will give you advantage here to Phoenix Murphy. Okay, out there for Nielsen, and now out there for Jimmy Ralph. He gets his first touch. Lachlan, I'll let you finish your thought here on the Gold Coast after they almost go over.
Yeah, I mean, that would have made their coaching staff very happy. I actually thought that this... Apologies, I'm not entirely sure who the center was there. They should have passed to the wing. I thought he was open there. But anyways, the Titans, I think they'd be very disappointed with that opening half. I mean, they had all this territory, but 4 errors, a penalty, and whenever they have had field position, they just haven't really used it. I think they'll be very disappointed with that opening half as the Panthers make a good break here, and it seems like we're having a back and forth start to start this second half.
Yep, Matthew Turner there putting on a great fend and just running forward right past halfway, and Murray ends up getting the ball here on the last. He will be tackled just inside the 40 of Penrith. Nilston there gets it away on the outside of the boot, and a very looping kick there, fielded there by Eden Hills. That's got a little bit of solace in me to see that the players that have just come onto the field here are the ones that we expect. Here goes Eric Irvine, just powering his way forward. The very big man for a half, and as a result needs 3 Panthers defenders to bring him down. Weston there, quickly up inside ball there for Bazimir, but he is quite rightly forced back there by Will Kay. Lee now out for Weston. Weston flicked out there for Hills once more, but Hills is not going to get very far there against Lucky Tua. Now Lee will have to fire it out here for Taupoke. Taupoke going for the kick. It is a 20-40 attempt. It's just going to hang up right near the sideline. Murray, watch out for everybody. He might be just forced over anyway, and he is.
Oh, a great kick there by the Titans. I was actually just about to say how good the Panthers defense, what a defense that it is, but a grace kick there from the Titans over to Riley Murray there, and he catches it. And he managed to avoid the 20-40, but the defenders were there to chase it back, and now the Titans have a really great opportunity here to potentially take the lead to begin the second half.
That was Mark Lee. I'm not sure who the winger was there that was involved as well, but might have been Reno Driscoll who was able to force him over the sideline. I'm not sure if I have said it already, but he did need to really cut that one in field. Murray, and as a result here, can they capitalize off Murray, putting a ball in the touch again. Here's Marcus Lee now, just about to get to the line, but his tackled short here on 4. The line is not set whatsoever, and Chris Weston takes advantage, and the Titans go over to tie it. They're going to have a kick here to take the lead.
Yeah, great line run there by Chris Weston. Just a brilliant short before. I actually thought, apologies, I can't exactly remember who passed it to him. Might have been, no, I can't even remember, but I thought he was going to be over there, but then passes it, Chris Weston crosses over, and the Titans about to go 12-10 up, assuming Lee can get this kick, which he does. He nails it. Very good with the boot, Marcus Lee, and the Titans, all of a sudden, are in the lead, and they've had a very strong start to this second half.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like the Panthers were really matched up mano a mano. Just looked like there was no real setting between them. They were trying to shift over, trying to make sure they had everyone covered, but when you try and cover everyone, when you're trying to go man on man in rugby league, sometimes it just feels like you're covering no one. There's Murray here, getting us back underway here. Kicks right towards the man, Dom Young, who might end up, he nearly went coast to coast. It had the kickoff, man, to beat in Murray, but he ends up being brought down just outside of 30. Panthers were absolutely nowhere defensively. It feels like they're right around the time that Murray's been pushed to the touch. They've just kind of lost their head somewhat. As here's Hodgie to play it now. McLucky inside ball here for Taupoke. Is going to be charging us up towards halfway, eventually brought down there by Nepo Go. McLucky fires it out there for Dom Young. Dom Young right into the line there, eventually brought to ground. Bit of an awkward tackle, but got him down eventually. Lee now out there for Weston. Weston kicks this one away just to a 10 here for Tua. Tua with a little step here. He's got to try and force the arm past Dom Young, but he can't quite do that. It is tackled just past the 30. And out here now for Wakabayashi. Over to Nepo Goat. Nepo Goat tries to crash his way forward, but only gets about 6 meters for his trouble. Okay, now again to Wakabayashi. Great intercept. Marcus Lee, thief in the night, absolutely takes that one away. And now Titans start a set in Panthers territory. Great opportunity for them to try and put some points back on the board again. They're already leading this first half 6-0. It's led to them taking an overall lead here. What do we look for now? Brody James. He ends up taking it up the middle here on the third. Looks like we'll spread it left here to Podgy Hodgie. He's not going to get too far, though. Eventually brought to ground here about 15 shy. McLucky there. Hit him as he was trying to pass it. Eventually it got to Parks, though. There's not going to be much gain on this occasion, but they still have the setup for the attacking kick. It goes to McLucky. McLucky, the grabber kick. It comes up Hodgie, but Hodgie didn't corral it. And that means a knock-on, no advantage, and a handover after that one went away from them.
Yeah, look, I actually thought for a split second there he might have been through, but yeah, there was a touch, unfortunately, there by the Gold Coast Titans, and on, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, Titans look a lot better, but good defense in the end there by the Penrith Panthers, and the Titans, they're coming out far, and they need to find something soon. The Panthers, that was a great fend by Nepo Goat.
Yeah, perhaps that's just a little bit of an inspirer here as Will K again looks to scoot. Oh my goodness! Eric Irvine just absolutely rocked his world. Where did he come from? Will K is still looking to scoot him. Then he just gets... When you can't come through it, and you can't go through it, and you can't knock it down, he's just found the wall. And the wall's name is Eric Irvine, and he takes another run. Going up to about quarter of the way through. Now Driscoll with a step, eventually worked over there by Murphy. Now firing out for McLucky. Titans now with the immense pressure being given so far, but not much being dealt offensively. A slow play of the ball here. They wanted to know if they wanted to go 40-20. They decide not to, and instead it's Brody James with a run. Going to be just in the Panthers territory before his brought down. Lee now out for Weston. Weston, the long kick out. It will get about 50 meters through the air before Lucky Tua fields it. Not going to try and put on much of a step here. He's just going to try and take his run and take his opportunities where he can get them. Ralph now powering his way through a couple of defenders before eventually being brought down. Where do the Panthers look to set up? They go into the middle of the park again with Murray. I don't believe they did make a change here. You may notice DBK over there on the outside center, top of your picture. Lachlan McKinnon has taken into that essentially number 11 role. That has been the primary change here in terms of the on-field personnel remained on. Of course, everyone else was interchanged. Nilsson thought about the 40-20, decides to run instead. Takes on Taupoke before he's brought down just past halfway as well. Pretty much meeting them where they were at. Wakabayashi the kick. Where's the chasers? They're not too far away from Eden Hills. It means he can get a good amount of running room. He's going to get about 25 meters before his brought down. And now the Gold Coast were probably one of their better field positions of a set. They didn't take advantage of an offensive lapse in judgment from Penrith.
Yeah, now the Titans are already over to 40 here on the second tackle. Oh, that's a massive run again. The Panthers, they've got to find a way to stop this momentum at the moment. Because at the moment, the Titans are just steamrolling over them. And this could be over very soon if the Panthers aren't careful. The Titans are in a mood. They're kind of firing in the second half.
Yeah, they've been able to convert into the points this time around, which they weren't able to do for the first quarter of this match. As here goes Dom Young. Might just put them into the propensity to put it in a bomb. There could just very well be a crossfield punt here. What do they look for with Chris Weston? He looked for the crossfield punt and he couldn't find anyone. And Tula Varavakatani going to be there to mop it up. And eventually tackled. And we'll get about 72 meters here to try and get up the end of the field and put their points of the board to take a lead for themselves. Riley Murray, about a quarter of that on the first tackle. Wakabayashi fired out for Turner. Very wayward ball there for Nepo Goat. Could have been called forward. Nothing given there. Also now out for TBK. TBK forcing his way forward and eventually brought down here in the third. Not much being gained this time around. Murphy takes it around our pocket, getting so many post-contact meters, but it forces Irvine to be called into action. And now out there for Wakabayashi and then McKinnon. He tries to take a run from that second rower spot, but is not going to get very far, and the Panthers will be forced to punt again. Here's Wakabayashi. It's a high one, pending its way for O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll run to the TBK, and a strong tackle here from the converted forward. That's exactly what they needed there, I think. Penrith.
Oh! Another massive shot there on Parks that time.
Yeah, I think that was from Harrison Coward there, and here goes Young. Oh no, sorry, that was maybe from... I'm trying to figure out who that was. I think he was wearing the 12 jersey. Usually, I'll let's say Phoenix Murphy, but of course that isn't the case due to identity issues, which I've had a lot of the past.
Look, to be fair, picked
up there by McKinnon.
This is what Penrith need.
Yep, starting out in Gold Coast territory. If they can push on here, they might at least be able to put in a threat on the last, if not more. Here goes Preston Beats now. Beats getting a lot of meters for his eventually brought down 33 shy. Slow play the ball again, though. Kano out for Wakabayashi and then for Shackelford. Shackelford eventually going to be brought to ground. This pass for 30 of the Gold Coast. Here goes Nilsson now out for Murray. They're going to try the wing this time with Pongston. Not going to get very far that time around. Tackled there about 26 shy. Murray now a little step, just trying to work his way in field. Mark Lee's there though, as he is brought down inside the 20. Who do they look for their kicking option? They'll go to Nilsson. Nilsson up in the line, gets a grab away. Go to an offload. Here goes Preston Beats. Beats, I think he's just going to try and gain as many post-contact meters as he can. Try and get Titans involved. Eventually is brought down there about 3 shy, but pins the Gold Coast back a little bit, and given the momentum that we've seen running this way, the Panthers, they might be able to just hold them out.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a low-scoring affair, and I feel like the Panthers are going to try something different against the points here, because at the moment, I wouldn't be shocked if this game just doesn't change the score. Both teams are defending good enough for it, wouldn't surprise me. And the Panthers, they just need to find something extra, and at the very least keep the Titans down here, and so far they're doing a decent job at that. Another little bit of a skimmy there from Mark Lee at a dummy half.
Yeah, he was trying to catch Murphy offside, and I think they probably could have called them for something there, because it looked like he was influenced by Murphy still standing there, but instead just backed out of it. But nothing given, and only about 34 meters gained off of that set. They'll look for Tau Pocket to put the kick in, and it's another one up the middle of the field. Murray might be able to get all the way up to halfway. No. It's going to be brought down there by Lee again. Having to lead from the front here, the hooker. Now McKinnon there. This is what they decided to do now. Rather than Murray and TBK, TBK's clearly expended out all he can. Let's use Murray and McKinnon as our options. Wakabayashi now out for Beats. Beats trying to force his way forward. His tackle about 43 out from the Panthers line. There goes Kay. That's the Scooty wanted. That's good meters gained that time around. Taking advantage of only one marker, and that one marker being on the other side of a play the ball. Nepo Goat here. Forcing Tau Pocket, dragging him along essentially. They're going to have an option for a kick here. But look for Wakabayashi. Wakabayashi a grubber. It's off for Shackelford. Offload McKinnon. McKinnon wrapped up easily though. And another handover. I think they got to look for the high option this time around. They can't keep putting in these grubber kicks from long range.
Yeah, the Titans are all over it. They're just playing at the ball, and it's finding it very hard to get through the line there with the grubber kick. And every time it just ends up being a scrap fight, with the Panthers getting tackled in the last. Then they've got to set it high. They have some pretty tall wingers, Penrith. They can get them under the ball. You know, who knows what can happen.
Yeah, maybe even find TBK in an option, perhaps on a back play. Just look for something of that nature. Here goes Irvine, shooting his way up the line. He's eventually tackled, a couple shy of halfway. We'll let McLucky take the run on play here, but he's not going to get very far that time around. Just into Panthers territory. Feels like a bit of deja vu, but I'm sure the Titans are content with where they're at the moment. Kick goes down to Lucky Tua.
That's changed
momentum. Need to hold them out. Now that's what they needed. A nice pinning kick that time around. Nothing awkward off of the kick chase as Murray is easily handled there one-on-one by Vakateni. Okay, we'll look for Nepo Goat to take the one-up run. Needs 3 defenders to bring him down, but eventually is brought down just shy of a 30. He's now out for Nilsson. Shackelford. Area's options, nothing on the offload, so just going to have to take the tackle there. Okay, again the scoop, but that time just quickly out for Pongston. An appeal there for marker not squared, not given. A 40-20 opportunity perhaps as Nepo Goat there. Oh no, it's hit Murphy instead. And as a result, what is essentially accidental offside either way is a handover to the Titans.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Oh, massive hit. Uh-oh. Watch out.
There goes Wakabayashi. Off a big shot laid on there. I'm not sure who on whom, but that will be a huge momentum shift after a bit of an error there from Murphy alongside Nepo Goat last time. Now they get the opportunity to lay perhaps a red zone set. Can the Titans keep their line firm? They've done it for most of this game, but in this final 10 minutes, we could see the knife edge flip. K out for Wakabayashi. Now looks to McKinnon. Titans will be about 8 off their own line when they look to that play the ball. Here goes Nepo Goat. Got an offload. It's forward. It was just a little bit too risky to try and flick that one out. I don't know. I think the travel's forward, but I'm not certain if the motion is. And I'm pretty sure you're meant to rule on the motion. I could very well be wrong, but
this might be costly.
I feel like they've been hard done by here, and they're going to be punished rightly for it. Dom Young's got by Murray, and that is an absolute death knell.
Yeah, that might just do us here at CommBank Stadium. Obviously, 10 minutes left, anything can happen, but I mean, I thought it was coming in that set. The Panthers that looked likely, and at times were scrambling. Fair enough to them, they were scrambling well, but they still had to scramble quite a bit. Defensive line was struggling to get set there, but the error, and then the Titans just find some space, and then it all comes unstuck in about the space of 10 seconds for the Panthers from one end to the other, and that might seal us here.
Yeah, I mean, it's now a 2-score game, and that essentially, unless there's a distinct act of foul play, that could very well just end up being what gives the Titans a win here, of course. Still, game very much of a balance, but we'll have to wait and see whether they can just find something else, give them an opportunity to at least corral the point differential a bit, maybe. Or maybe they just end up deciding, you know what, let's just take it as it is. That looked forward there to Vakatani, but not called again. And I mean, there'll definitely be some bitter Panthers fans who think, man, the decisions never go our way. Look to the NRL, buddy. They always go your way there. Anyway, Marcus Lee there, quickly out to Vakatani, who just gets it on the inside of his shoulder, has to flick it out to Bazerman. He's going to be tackled right on the 30.
Some strays here.
I'll stand on business if I need to. Vakatani forces his way through. Don't worry, that I'll be quickly in and out of the parking lot. There will be no punch-ons there. Weston gets the kick away just out to the 30. And Irvine apparently just goes diving for, I don't know what. Perhaps he saw a caterpillar down there. But thankfully, the rest of his defense is able to help him out on that occasion. McKinnon trying to force his way forward. He's just past the 40. Playing a very lot like SRL 1, but I don't think that's really gone the way they've wanted it to in this game, Penrith. Now quickly out. Will K, there's the scoot you wanted. Just going to take on Taupoke, and then just gets past the 40. Before he's eventually brought down. They might be in position here for an attacking kick, but a slow play the ball does not help because the problem is there's got to be Max Taupoke just waiting in the wings and absolutely clobbers the half Japanese half. And, well, that means that now they're going to get another opportunity here with Bradley Parks. Nepo Goat has to get over there. Just barely brings him down, but brings him down all the same and allows the Panthers line to get set and contain Podgy Hodgie on the next run. There he goes on the second, just shy of a 30. They'll need to look just a little bit more here. Here goes Dom Young. Dom Young's going to try to get by Murray. Murray just squares him up and make sure he squares up to him. Holds them out only for a little bit longer, perhaps. Basman now for Weston. Weston now for Eden Hills. Eden Hills, that's a tough triangle to try and get through there from out on the wing, and is not going to get very far that time. Bazima now with the step, runs into beats. It's going to be able to just hold him up here. We'll just double check it to be certain, which we always do because these referees are
blind. Distracted.
Always uncertain of themselves on these sorts of decisions. That's what I'll go with, and that's what I'll stick to for fear of my own safety. Tackle 5 here is the opportunity here for the Titans to go up 3 scores. McClucky will bomb towards the center of the park. Ponkston underneath it. Young ends up marking it. He's just going to be held where he stands. He probably could have fallen backward and just tried to evade that tackle. But I think given the state of the game, they just say, you know what, we're up 2 scores. They got to go the length of the field. Why not just take it on and not risk giving up an error or potentially a 7-tackle set?
Yeah, I mean, smart play by the Titans there. I probably would have gone for the try, but they were not all me. And I don't get too many, so yeah, the Titans, they played well in the end. Obviously, Panthers up at halftime, but they haven't scored yet, and now they just make an error, and that's going to do it.
Yep. Well, might not quite do it there, because they might see an error right back. That's all they can really hope for, Penrith. Someone's going to lay the shot on here. It's not going to be on Podgy Hodges. Again, it was Taupoke who put a shot on, and he has been a huge producer for Lee. Now will fire it out quickly for Irvine. Irvine's just barely fought back, and eventually is tackled free shy of a line. McLucky off the hands and ends up with Nepo Goat, as I was saying. Well, he wasn't able to escape very far out of that one, but it does end up making sure that it remains an 8-point lead for the Gold Coast and keeps perhaps a glimmer of hope available. But remember that Nepo Goat wasn't able to run that one all the way back. I think that was pretty much their only chance. Of course, Goat is absolutely out on his feet at the moment. I think that's been a big one for why Penrith haven't really been able to contend thus far. It just feels like they have been absolutely run ragged.
Yeah, they all look really tired there, Panthers. I mean, it's very late in the game. What can you do at this point? Penrith with a minute to go, down by 8. I think that's all they wrote here, and some questions will be asked throughout the week because Penrith, they're in a good fit position at half-time. Obviously, no errors yet, and it feels like the story of the second half has just been error after error after error for Penrith. So I'm not sure what happened. They must have put some, I don't know, just made their hands a bit wet or something at half-time, because it feels like all they have done in the second half is make errors.
Yep, but no errors there from the Titans in cleaning this one up. And that means that after a rough first half, they end up coming back to win. Penrith shut out there in that second half, and as a result, Gold Coast will head back up to Queensland, 18-10 winners. Huge game for them. Of course, we got to see Rayno Driscoll open the scoring, but it was quickly twice within essentially 5 minutes with Nepo Goat and Lachlan McKinnon. Of course, Latimer did miss that conversion, which meant that Chris Weston's converted try would take the lead, and Dom Young off of a forward pass inside what was a red zone attack from Penrith. That resulted in the eventual Panthers capitulation.
So look at some stats here.
Well, 4 errors. What we got to see later on there. 4 errors there from the Panthers in that second half. I believe had 5 as well. But it just felt like the meat is being gained. But look at that, 11:48 to 9:22 is iffy at best and terrifying at worst.
Let's take a look at some stats here too. I mean, what went wrong? Panthers they just needed to make some more try score opportunities. They really struggled to get downfield. If it wasn't for errors from the Titans, they probably wouldn't have ever got downfield. Where the Titans, they managed to sort of just, I guess, they were winning the field position battle by just playing footy. Panthers couldn't do that.
Yep. The defense is more stout, I felt, from the Gold Coast, and as a result, not many meters could be gained there. I think Nepo Goat there was the meter leader of 100 odd. Of course, Nilsson and Murray, TBK all did crossover, but TBK, 0 impact in that second half, and perhaps the swap of him for McKinnon was inadvisable. McKinnon only gained 75 meters. I didn't keep track of how many meters he had in that first 40, so I can't imagine it was too much of an impact from him there. Of course, he did score that try in the first half, so again, perhaps that was an inadvisable move there, and one that they may come to regret from Riley Murray.
Yeah, I think in obviously hindsight is 2020, but I think that McKinnon just played a lot better in the centre position, and I think TPK played a lot better in the second row position. I mean, 118 run meters. I feel like he had over 100. I think as we went to half time, maybe just under.
Yep.
They're around there, but you know, he definitely played a lot better in that second row. He looked very dangerous every time he got the ball. McKinnon, I didn't really notice him in the second half, but I certainly did. I forgot TPK was even in the centres, to be honest, in that second half. He just wasn't, just non-existent, and I think it's a decision that will definitely hurt them in the long run. It might hurt them in the Premiership races. Now they dropped 3 losses to 2 wins.
Yep, but as for the Gold Coast, well, it was Dom Young there with 248 meters. I can imagine that last little break that he had was pretty much the dagger for them, and Chris Weston very solid as well out of the halves. Was able to distribute the ball very well at first receiver whenever he got it, and McLucky took on some great runs as well, even though he did spill the ball a few times. I feel like that was really the main thing. It's just how much more they were able to gain relative to their competition. Of course, Rainer Driscoll, Max Taupoke also going over. Max Taupoke 2 try assists, and of course 29 tackles. Did miss 4, but I mean, when you're that involved, it does mean that you can be I'll give it a little bit more leniency, I would say, especially given that his kicking game proved to be quite fruitful for them as well.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Just a bit of background noise now, but yeah, definitely couldn't agree more.
Yep. That was a very rough loss to the Panthers as well. I can imagine there'll be some strongly worded letters to the referees. I can only hope that their letters and not something worse. But with that, we will hopefully be able to see some more exciting games coming your way the rest of this week. Of course, we do have 2 more games to come here on our Monday evening/night. Don't forget that, of course, these games are starting at 6 p.m. Well, these games will now be starting at 5 p.m. AEDT, 4 p.m. AEST. EST is a Queenslander time, so please do remember that. With that, for Lachlan Martin, the entire SRL crew, I have been Lucas Said, formerly Ali Parcher, and we will see you next time. Good night.